Degenerocity. Tipping culture.
Tipping. A generous act of courtesy you do when
Here
you're
it
more
comes.
than satisfied with the service you were provided. And you
Yep.
give them a little extra money. Usually you give these to your servers at restaurants, your barber, and strippers, just as a way of telling them you're doing a good job. Go get yourself a nice pair of undies. And this overall thing is practiced all around the world. It's not exactly a foreign concept for anybody. Tipping is a normal thing, but no place on earth lets it give out the tip more than the US of A. We go X Games mode with the tipping over here, cause we be giving everybody tips. We tip our delivery drivers, taxis, bellhops, housekeeping, house movers, bartenders. If you're an in-person service, then most likely you accept tips.
True.
Even my homie's last job at the gas station where he just pumped people's gas, he got over $100 in tips in one day.
Damn, wait. First off, you can get people to pump your gas for you and you can tip at gas stations? I know you can leave like change, like pennies for
people tip for that. We love to tip everybody except the homeless. But has it gone too far? Let me go off real quick. But I've been seeing tipping options where I've never seen them before. Like counter services, you know, cashiers. I've never heard of tipping cashiers, but those blue blocks on the iPad beg to differ. One time I went to a concert and I went to the merch booth. I got a hoodie, bro handed me the hoodie, then turned around his iPad for a tip. Now I know these people don't get paid too well, but what in that interaction concurred a tip?
Exactly.
Did he slip me $100 bill in a hoodie that I didn't see? I don't think so. So nah, I don't think I'm gonna tip. But I would usually see these in local businesses most of the time. So
do I look like my t-shirt?
It's all fine and dandy. But I've heard Starbucks is also doing tips. Now, I don't really go to Starbucks because it's just not for me. I like my coffee a certain way. I like my coffee how I like my men.
Ooh.
Long, black, and...
Some states can't pump their own gas, Nate. I don't know that. That's a thing? How does that work? How does anyone get gas?
Vietnamese. And no offense to you Starbucks employees out there, but I'ma treat y'all like McDonald's and Burger King. Like, why would I tip the drive-through cashier? That just sounds unnecessary. And as long as those restaurants are not asking for tips, then I'm never gonna tip. Don't get no ideas, please. However, I understand why these workers would want to tip, though. They work low-wage jobs, and sometimes they got families to take care of at home. So a tip or two would make their lives a little bit easier.
Fuck them.
But I'm selfish.
Yeah, real shit. I ain't trying to tip no one.
But I know that day will eventually come. I can smell it. This is the US. We'll somehow incorporate tipping into everything. So the employers can justify why they're paying their employees minimum wage.
Wait, that's deep. It's all a corporate scheme so the companies save money. That's good. That's deep. Oh, I didn't know that was a job. I didn't know that was a career. Thank you. All right.
And whenever someone doesn't tip, they get mad at us instead of the business that's giving them a non-living wage. That's why tipping is super pushed.
Okay.
So restaurants, for example, can pay their waiters low salaries to encourage them to aim for tips. So the waiters have to be
deep.
as upstanding, top of their tippy toes, holly jolly of a worker as possible to try to get ends meet. So the customer can walk away feeling happy about their
9 to 5, the cog life,
owner of the
the
restaurant
Matrix
being happy
aware.
because of the profit and good look of the business, while the waiters walk away with a $2 tip and food stamps for a salary. Or at least that's just my theory, my game theory. Now, people that have never had a job might say, ain't that a good thing? It makes the waiters actually try to do their job well, bro. Ain't nobody want to work minimum wage, period, bro.
True.
In this economy, doesn't matter if I'm getting tips. All it takes is one bad day of penny pinching tips to be like, well, Scoob, I guess we have to eat whatever's in the fridge tonight. I should know. I used to be a waiter. I was a waiter for weddings and other events in my late senior year, and my wage was decent.
I bet he was making bands from the tips then.
For a high school student, that's pretty good. Plus, I only worked on the weekends. Man, this job was gonna be a breeze. But that was only because I was a kid. I ain't need that much in the first place. All I thought is, if I can afford food, sold. But to spoil the fun, most of the time, I did not get any tips or very little tips. Yeah, 95% of my gigs was at weddings, so the food was already paid for. I was giving these niggas free food, and I got nothing. And I was always all nice and shit. I was never mean. I was all like, hello, hot diggity day. What would you lovely people like to have? I thought I was doing a good job. I even shaved off my hair to be more presentable, which is something I still regret to this day. don't cut the hair you love for no jobs.
That's a crazy background
like
video.
You might get no job with that.
Ooh.
I did get tips sometimes. The biggest tip I've ever gotten was $40 from a table of old white woman and a gay dude. And from then on, they became my target audience. I'd always pick the table with the gay niggas, because I know they'd give me the biggest tip. And me complaining about small tips might sound like a trivial problem.
I was gonna show the Tom Holland back shots.
But I'm talking about like in the grand scheme of things of this kind of job. Like if I was an adult with this job paying bills, taxes, rent, all that, I could not live like this. I know this because I had coworkers in their late 20s, 30s, 40s who said they couldn't take care of themselves with this wage. That's why they sold drugs on the side. That's why we should hold these businesses accountable to have higher wages for their employees so they don't have to rely on tips anymore. We must rise against this corrupt
Ain't no one listening to bro.
Who's with me? You're just saying this because you just don't want to pay tips no more. Well, duh. I don't like tipping. Who does? Who wants to pay more of their own money when they don't have to? I'm not a misogynist, a masochist. Wrong word. I am the other one. I'm not saying I don't tip. I do. But mainly because I want to at least try to balance out my good deeds with my bad ones when I'm in the pearly gates. I'm not trying to go to hell because I didn't tip my IHOP waitress who so happened to be battling cancer and diabetes that one time. I'm trying to get ahead.
What am I watching?
If I gave 0 darns, dangs, or I would
I'm
almost
really
never
mad.
tip. I would look at the bill, then pay the bill, then end it there. I would only tip if I received outstanding service, because, you know, most services nowadays are just average, you know, regular stuff, nothing to point out, but you still supposed to tip. In a perfect world, I would only tip if the person is enthusiastically nice. Fast service, give me a back massage, and also pay for my food. Then I would tip. I can understand tipping delivery drivers because they also need the money to pay for their gas, but that can go with the higher wage argument that I said earlier. And if they show up mad late, then I don't have to tip them. We should bring back the 30 minutes or less or the food is free rule. I'd start ordering food from Russia on purpose. Save myself a stack. And like I said earlier, I know these people need these tips to survive. I know they have mouths to feed. I know. I feel you. But in the back of my mind, I know I have mouths to feed too. My own mouth. And tipping is slowly taking that away from me.
Yep. If you tip, less money that goes in your own pockets. And dude, okay, maybe I'm just stupid as shit, but I didn't even think about that. That's why the corporations want you to tip so that they pay their employees less work. Or maybe I did know that. I don't even know. Like, that's deep. Less money. Why am I also on this freeze frame?
Now I'm gonna starve.
Oh, fat ass. That guy does not need any more fast food.
From me. Now
he needs to tip more. This guy needs to tip more.
And remember earlier when I said tipping is not a foreign concept? Well, apparently it is to most countries. Every time I look in the comment section for a post regarding tipping, 90% of the comments will be from foreigners saying, well, over here in Timbuktu, Jumanji land, we never even heard of tipping. I didn't even know Jumanji was a real place, but it sounds like heaven if they don't tip. And it makes me think the people of the U.S. here are purposely fucking me with this tipping shit. It's to be expected we tip 20 to 25% of the bill here.
No, it's not 20. It's like, actually, no, it is.
You have a better chance pulling a gun on me and robbing me because that's the only way you're gonna get that much money out of me. And I've been seeing news.
And honestly, there's no point. Okay, here's my thing, right? I'll tip, like when they flip the iPad, like the people making my boba or whatever, I'm gonna tip them so that they make it good. But if I already got my meal, if I already got my boba, if I already got my drink, I'll just tip less. Like, what are you gonna do? You can't spit in my food anymore because I'm already eating it. Nope. About
how there's a spread of self-checkout machines with tipping options.
I thought that was Chris from Mr. Beast. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
What the hell am I tipping? Mr. and Mrs. Walmart themselves? Why they need my money? Why they need a tip? Any self-checkout tipping machine out there could suck the tip of my pee-pee. Oh. That's what you could do. And like I said earlier, I do tip my delivery drivers and waiters. I do. But I hate tipping. I bloody hate it. If I could abolish it, I would. I hate it.
Send this man to Arkham. Holy shit. But yeah, he's right.
I know it's the right thing to do. Or at least I was raised to believe if I don't tip my waiters, I'm a which I don't really believe now, but I begrudgingly admit tipping won't kill me. So I still tip. How much I tip? none of your beeswax. And even though I tip most of the time, I'm not gonna tell y'all you should tip. You could do whatever you want with the money you've earned.
Yep.
Like I could be spending my money on helping the children in Africa and building houses there. But how else am I supposed to pay for my drip? I need money for my clothes, man. Those kids in Africa, they're not gonna pay for me. But yeah, those are my thoughts on tipping. Employees need better pay, so I can stop paying. And in conclusion,
element of surprise. Did you pray today?
Oh.
Did you pray today?
Cause if you didn't, I'ma have to dig you down on some gangster shit. That was a good video. Very good video. I love that guy's videos. Very deep, very philosophical, very Andrew Tate coded, very Matrix, some shit like that. I don't even know.